He goes to art school and apparently has one class. You never see him interact with other classes. You never see him worry about carrying books to other courses. Apparently he takes this one course in this big old college. Hello, I'm High Heel Knight. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my rant about Insidious, the Red Door. Now, rant doesn't necessarily mean I hated the movie. Sometimes I like the movie. Sometimes I love the movie. Rant just means it's an informal discussion as opposed to the much more structured style that I usually do. Plus, it's too hot lady for me to be in my studio for too long. So that's why I'm out here. I'm just going to mention a couple of things, the notes I wrote down. Plus, I saw this movie at the South Orange Performing Arts Center in New Jersey. That's a theater that Patrick Wilson, along with his partners, have restored, and they're very proud of it. Patrick Wilson is obviously the star of the movie, but this is his directorial debut. He filmed a lot of the movie in New Jersey. He's very proud of that, so kudos to him. I think he's off to a very good start. Now, there are going to be spoilers in this discussion because I'm going to bounce back from talking about the movie and talking about my experience at the theater. Patrick Wilson hosted the event. He said hi to the audience, gave it a little introduction before starting the movie, and after the movie, he did a question and answer with the audience that was live streamed. So if you watch the live stream, there's going to be a question about a little girl. What happened to the little girl? I was the one that asked that question. Me, hi, I'm the questionnaire. It was me. So we see that part about what happened to the little girl. That was my question. So on to the movie. I liked it. It was very nice, but there was just that. Very nice. So I'm going to give you some spoilers, but if you just want my grade, I give it a C+. It's a nice movie, but just that. Nice. Just about everybody from the first two Insidious movies reprises their roles. So Patrick Wilson reprises his role. The two sons, Ty Simpkins and Andrew Astor, they reprise their roles. Rose Byrne reprises her role. The elder lady, that guide of the whole franchise, she reprises her role. So it was pretty cool to see these folks back. You should see at least the second Insidious movie if you haven't seen any of the Insidious movies. And just to be clear, the Insidious movies are not linked to the Conjuring movies, which can be very confusing since Patrick Wilson is in both franchises, the Conjuring franchise and the Insidious franchise. So it's like, well, what is almost like seeing an actor appear in the MCU and all these other superhero films. So just see the second Insidious movie if you haven't seen any of the Insidious movies, because this is the fifth film, but it's a direct sequel to the second movie. All right, so see number one, definitely see number two. Probably should see number one. Then you can go to number 5, and you don't have to watch 3 and 4 if you don't want to. So like I said, this is Patrick Wilson's directorial debut. I think he did a solid job. The movie is very intense, and it is thrilling while you watch it. But as I was driving home, I realized a couple of things about the film.
Hey, wait a minute.
One of the things I realized is that no one dies. There are dead ghouls and spirits or whatever you want to call them, but none of the main characters die. None of the side characters die. One of this actor, Peter Dagger, he was there at the event. His character is called Nick the Dick. You expect him, something like that kind of character to die. He doesn't die. Now, not all horror movies have people that die. There are a couple of rare horror movies that die, but it's like, well, wait a minute. If no one really dies, then what were the stakes? Which led me to the next thing. The only ones that are really in danger are the Dalton, that's the eldest son, and the father, played by Patrick Wilson, because they're the ones that are directly being haunted by these specters. And if they wind up getting possessed, then I guess maybe they might go on a mild rampage before, I don't know, the police incarcerate them or gun them down or something like that. As opposed to, you watch a lot of horror movies like, Jason Voorhees, he's going around the campgrounds killing off people, or Freddy Krueger, he's scaring all these kids' nightmares and things like that. Or in the Scream franchise, even though they want to kill one particular person, they got to kill all their little friends and family members before getting to that one person. Or even if there is a spirit, the spirit will be unleashed and cause hell across the the universe or the world or something like that. But no, it's like, oh, it's just these two guys are being haunted, and they survived the first movie, they survived the second movie, they're probably going to survive this movie. So the stakes are low, no one dies, and when he goes to art school, apparently has one class. You never see him interact with other classes. You never see him worry about carrying books to other courses. Apparently he takes this one course in this big old college. That's something I also found a little weird and funny about the story. And with the little girl, now the little girl is played by Juliana Davis. Now she is fresh to the series. That character is played by other younger children back then, because like 9 years before or something like that. But she has a very nice scene at the funeral, and she says that she misses her grandmother. That's the grandmother that passed away. The mom said, yeah, don't worry, grandma misses you too. Then the big brother's like, dead people can't miss anybody. It just misses what the little girl was feeling. And then you never see the little girl again. Now, that's why I asked Ruth, like, what happened to the little girl? He said, no, she's right there. Talk to the actress. Like, no, what happened to the character? She just disappeared from the story. And apparently there was a line saying that the little girl went to camp or a friend's house or something like that. And I sort of remember that line, but considering how unique that scene was, there should have been a callback. There should have been a follow-up to that scene. Maybe the old brother say, you know what, I'm sorry what I said about grandma. The dead can't hear us, or I know now that, something to follow up. The little girl was at the event, so after I shook Patrick Wilson's hand at the end, I found her. I said, hey, I really enjoyed your scene. I'm glad you answered my question, because I thought there should have been a follow-up. And the grown-up that was with Juliana was like, yeah, I thought there would be a follow-up too. And it wasn't like, I don't know if it was a mother or an aunt or a older sibling, whatever, but it was like, yeah, Juliana should be in all the scenes and all throughout the movie. And it's like, no, as a person watching the story, I'm expecting a follow-up to that scene, or at least this character to come back into the story, because there's 3 children. The oldest is the main one, and then the brother, the middle child, he comes back in the story, but the little girl just vanishes from the story. And that's what really brings my grade down. It's like you dropped the ball without having a follow-up. I don't know if it was child labor laws, or I don't know if there were scenes that were made that had to be cut, because that's what Patrick Wilson said. There were a lot of great scenes that he had to cut. There's a scene with Nick the Dick, Peter Dagger, that he loved, but he had to trim down. Even Sinclair Danielle, she talked about, well, my last day of filming was walking down this hallway and opening a door, but that was cut, so I guess I didn't walk down the hall well enough. But yeah, so maybe there's more scenes with the little girl, but yeah, I felt kind of, it's not a plot hole, but it's like there should have been a follow-up to that, what happened in the beginning. That's the reason why it comes to a C+. It's fun to watch when you're watching it, and there were some young people in the audience, like 12 and up, and they seemed to have a good time, though of course that might be because they got to chat with the actor and director afterwards, because one little girl was like, do you guys get nightmares from watching the movie or after you do the movie? And the actors said, well, they get nightmares, but not usually about the horror movie, because it's fun on set, playing with the goo and the blood and the gack and stuff like that. And the lipstick monster, the same guy that plays the lipstick monster reprises his role. There's a time when they were in the trailer and he comes in full makeup and just sits down. And for a moment everyone sort of freaked out, and he just starts talking and like, oh yeah, that's right, he's just an actor. But yeah, the young people in the audience seemed to have a nice time. Now, maybe they had some nightmares when they got back home and went to bed. The movie's PG-13. And so if you're looking for something different from the big tempo blockbusters, because on the day I saw this movie, I saw Indiana Jones. Last week I saw the Ruby Gilbert Teenage Kraken and Elemental. And before that I saw the Transformers and the Flash. And so if you're tired of these big giant movies and you want just something cool to bring your buddies, especially like your teenage years, and you wanted something different, yeah, go check it out. If you like the Insidious franchise, then you're probably only going to see it anyway. But if you're fresh to the franchise, again, don't worry about the Conjuring movies, even though it stars Patrick Wilson, and you just need to see the second movie in order to enjoy this one, because this movie is heavily reliant on the second movie. So that, I give the movie a C+. That was my little rant review about Insidious the Red Door. I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to put comments in the comment section. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or dislike, share, and subscribe. Once again, I'm High Heel Knight. Thank you for watching, and remember, find inspiration everywhere.